Hey, Miss Bailey. So this is my interview video. Jack's at practice at the moment. He's got a lot going on. We're kind of got conflicting schedules. Uh, so I just thought I'd go ahead and do this. I'm going to ask myself the questions. If I need to go ahead and do it again, I definitely will. But I just thought I'd go ahead and do this. My job that I'm interviewing for, my kind of stepping stone job, is announcing football for Coastal. That's one of the main sports I'd like to announce like full time. In the professional realm, so doing it Coastal would be a stepping stone for the professional. So the 5 questions I have written out. So the first one is why Coastal? Well, I'm already here and I got a lot of pride for the school. I obviously am paying to go here, so I wouldn't pay to go here if I didn't love it. And so that's kind of why Coastal. I mean, I've always been very school spirited wherever I'm at. So that's why I decided I wanted to do it at Coastal. Second one is why football in general? Well, it's one of my favorite sports growing up. It's the most interactive that I've found with announcing, so it brings on the most challenges. I want to get really good at the most challenging sport I know in college so that I can then do other sports professionally as it gets more and more challenging. So like maybe not start with professional football, but start with professional baseball, or start with basketball. It's kind of on that same realm, but professional basketball, stuff like that. Third question is, how are you going to market yourself? Well, that's all I've really been taught to do since sophomore year, is to have a brand, and a positive brand. I want to market myself in a positive light and not only use whatever market, whatever fame I get. For me, I want to help other people with it. I want that platform to be something that I can lift other people's up for, and also further the positive atmosphere that's happening at Coastal with my platform. The second one, or I guess this kind of ties in, is that how will you help market CCU? Well, a lot of what my platform is about Coastal, and it is about where I'm at. So like in high school, it was all about my high school. It was Catawba Ridge High School, the Copperheads. I was in green and gold pretty much every day. Same thing now. I'm pretty much in teal and bronze every single day. I want to market where I'm at as much as possible, and where I'm at happens to be CCU. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to use social media as a big platform. I'm going to use, when I'm using my voice, I want to really bring part that camaraderie within the fan base and within the school and within the community. And last question I have out of these 5 are, how did you start announcing? Well, it wasn't the most common thing. I was started in high school. It was halfway through my junior year. I was varsity on the football team. I was captain, and we had a guy for the JV team, but he didn't. He was going to show up late. So you're like, hey, can you go step in? We trust you not to say anything stupid. You only have to do it for a quarter, and then you can step out. So I was like, yeah, I guess so. I had some experience with broadcasting, journalism, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, I can use my voice. I know how to do that. And that guy, he just couldn't show up for the entire game, so they just let me do the whole game. So I get done, and they're like, oh, well, you just did a great job. Do you want to continue doing it the rest of the season? I'm like, sure, why not? So I ended up doing the rest of the season. I got a couple offers from a couple different teams in my high school to do it, like for the spring season. Unfortunately, COVID hit, and we didn't get to do that. Tracking up to my senior year, they started a guy for varsity. I wasn't playing football anymore, but I really wanted to stick with JV, so I ended up doing JV. And then I did all the winter sports and then all of the spring sports. I ended up announcing for 10 teams in total. Then moving on into college, when I figured I was going to Coastal, I used Twitter to really publicize myself and my abilities to announce, and ended up getting a position to announce women's soccer. That then snowballed into finishing up the season for volleyball, doing all the preseason games for women's basketball, doing quite a bit of non-conference games for softball, and I also am announcing the whole season for lacrosse. And that's kind of how I've gotten into it, and then just continuing to be consistent with it, like not dropping off in my voice range, and really innovating the whole area of announcing, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if this was in the criteria, but the 3 ones that you had us pre-do, I'm just going to answer what my answers were for those. And the 3 questions I chose for what are your qualifications do you have that other candidates do not? Well, again, I already have experience in college with up to 5 different sports, especially at the market that I want to be in, which is Coastal. I think that's a big thing because like I know a lot about the school. There's definitely a lot of people with a lot more experience than me at different schools, but not as many people have that much experience at this school, such as Coastal. And I think you've got to have that sort of love for the school to do PA. Love for the school, love for the ownership, all that kind of stuff. Second one is, where do you see yourself in 5 and also in 10 years? So 5, hopefully full-time announcing at CCU. I had already graduated at that point and hopefully getting paid to do so for as many sports as possible. Maybe even try broadcasting a little bit, but probably primarily PA. And then where you see yourself in 10 years, PA announcing at a professional level, whether that's Major League Baseball, the National Basketball Association, the NFL. One thing that'd be really cool, I haven't put a lot of thought into it, but maybe in the Olympics, stuff like that. Just somewhere on a professional level. And the last question is, why would this position give you self-satisfaction besides just completing your task? Well, tapping back into that really just love for your community, I've wanted to be able to use my voice to make a positive impact no matter what it was. So whether that's announcing at a soccer game where 15, 20 fans are there, or it's an arena full of like 10,000 people, or you're at a football game with over 20,000 people, the amount of people that I can affect using my voice, that's what I want to do. So building that family atmosphere, getting really excited for games, and not only getting really excited with my voice, but like people knowing me enough to like, hey, that we know this guy, we want to get excited for him, but we also want to get excited for the game, and kind of like that camaraderie in that. So that is my interview. Thank you.